What's up, everybody? So you've probably seen the trailer for Ghostbusters. I've seen the trailer for Ghostbusters. This is going to be my initial video that's really quickly to my really quick reaction to what I thought I just saw. First of all, I want to say I'm not showing the video because, the copyright claims that keep happening now on YouTube. Everything comes down. Whatever the hell, it's not going to be shown. You can see it. You can, whatever the hell. I will expand on this in a future video where I talk about this more, maybe even do a whole podcast about what's going on. So I hope you guys stay subscribed here to Corrupted Podcast. But let's talk about it right now, the Corrupted Nation, rather. Also, my interview with Onision that many people did not hear is now available for free and full on Joe Cronin Show, my other YouTube channel. Go listen to that. It's about an hour. He talks about wrestling, Patreon, all kinds of things from back in 2018. Anyway, Ghostbusters starts off like we thought it would start off here with the grandchildren of Egon, right? Egon would have been a grandfather to these kids. This is Egon's daughter's kids, apparently. That's what we kind of thought. They find the ghost-busting equipment and stuff like that as well. We thought they would find that also. It makes sense that the Ghostbusters, once not needed anymore, would put their equipment somewhere. Apparently, Egon had it at his farmhouse or whatever the case is. Why one of the other guys doesn't have it, I don't know. Why wouldn't Venkman or Ray or somebody else be there to take over to make sure the equipment's okay? I also would have been more believable if the government tried to come and take it. Which maybe was the case. The government was going to take their equipment, take their technology, whatever the case. That's more realistic. So maybe they decided to hide it. But if they decided to hide it, how come they didn't know Egon's kids would find it? So these are all questions we're going to have later on. But the fact of the matter is the trailer starts off with a good pace. Very Stranger Things vibe. It almost is Stranger Things and meets Ghostbusters, I guess, because we see the Ghostbusters equipment, meets a modern day kind of drama, comedy, less comedy in this, more like the drama adventure movie, similar to Stranger Things. Obviously, this is very Stranger Things. We all thought this when we watched Stranger Things, was imagine these guys in the Ghostbusters setting, because that's kind of what they were doing. So that's what we have. We have a Stranger Things, Ghostbusters, and Tremors, kind of a Tremors vibe, right? Remember Tremors, like Kevin Bacon? Almost a little bit of that, but this feels like a real fun sequel. The only thing is, obviously, is the kids aspect. The kids are essentially, kind of the main characters or the stars of this movie, where I would assume, based on the movie, we see them handling all the equipment. The trap, you even see the proton packs, the equipment, the outfits, everything. And apparently, you see later on the kids actually take Ecto-1 out for a ride, and they're blasting what looks like it's Slimer. And so, why would Slimer be there? Why would these things we know from the original movies be there, and not something maybe new that we didn't expect? Well, it appears as if, like you said, there was tremors and there's some kind of vibrations going on. So potentially ghosts have been let out. So what I think is that the Ghostbusters maybe brought their containment unit out to this rural area, and they were storing the ghosts out in this area as well. So that was another part of this. They kept all the equipment there, and they kept the ghosts stored there. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know what the case is, but it seems like all the familiar ghosts that we know are showing up here in the trailer. So, I don't know if that's true or whatnot. One of the characters from the cartoon that I always enjoyed was that Sam Hain character. Remember the pumpkin, the King of Halloween, and all that stuff? And Sam Hain, Ghostbusters. If you ever watched the cartoon, that Sam Hain character was dark, man. And that's never been done, and that's been in some kind of comic books, I guess, about it. I don't really read that much into the lore of Ghostbusters, but I think it would be kind of cool if they had used that character in some way or whatever. But so here it looks like we're going to get kind of just this kind of recap of Remember the Ghostbusters. I guess the one thing that gets me to complain about would be, well, if there's another movie after this, where the kids are going to be the Ghostbusters, which is, I like the tie-in. I think the tie-in is going to work, believe it or not. But I think a lot of people wanted that old dark humor, the guys from the Ghostbusters, adult males telling kind of, witty, dark, adult humor kind of, but with a vibe that kids could watch too. That's why when first Ghostbusters came out, I was like 3 or something. I was born in 1984. So, I grew up with these movies, watching them over and over again. I think I saw Ghostbusters 2 in the theater, which is awesome. A little bit scary, but it was really fun, and these are movies that we love and I loved. So this represents Ghostbusters a hell of a lot better than that 2016 debacle. So yeah, from the trailer, I got to give it a thumbs up. It's definitely different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought we always heard we were going to get like Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler and this guy and that guy kind of being the new Ghostbusters or taking over whatever, which always, seems a little bit forced that you would have to have, basically replacement adults for the characters. So what it looks like is going to happen based on the trailer is the kids take the thing out for a spin. They try to catch Slimer. The real Ghostbusters get a hold of this. They hear it on the news. They find out about it somehow, whatever the case is. I assume this takes place in modern day. I didn't see anything in the trailer that really... it has to, with the kids being the kids and the grandfather all the time going by with Egon and things like that. So I assume it's modern day, and the Ghostbusters would hear about this. And so I'm assuming they're going to show up towards the end of the movie at some point. You know what I mean? Kind of have to be the ones that actually save the day, which is, I think a lot of people are doing the opposite nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like say Star Wars, Luke Skywalker does show up at the end of the second movie, but in the end, Rey is going to be the one that saves everybody, whatever the case, and she's even appears more powerful than Luke, ridiculous as it may be. So the old character is given his moment, but it's kind of cast aside for the new characters. I have a feeling that while these new characters are going to shine, and do well, it almost makes it feel like the old Ghostbusters are going to show up and I don't know, they're going to be the ones potentially that save the day, or they will be a big part in helping the kids and what's his name? Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's character, he's the one guy, in his 40s. He's probably 40s himself, but the one guy that can help the kids along with whatever the Ghostbusters come in and do. And maybe they'll come in and they'll have like new equipment, or they'll have something else we've never seen before, or they'll have an idea of how to stop this, or whatever the case is. So there'll be a big key in how the movie ends, but maybe the kids in the end will have to do it themselves, or maybe the old Ghostbusters will throw the packs on with the kids, type of deal. It almost sounds ridiculous, and it almost sounds kind of cliche that, the kids, they find the Ecto-1 and, they find all the equipment, and it's kind of, when we saw that in the trailer originally in the barn house, everybody made those estimations right then and there, and that's exactly what this trailer confirmed. But the trailer's well received right now. 6,000 likes, 100 dislikes, and people mostly seem to like it. And I think it's because it seems kind of honest and it's a brand new story. They're not trying to do Ghostbusters 3 as in, here's Ghostbusters 3, like we made the first one, we made the second one kind of similar but not as good, and now we're going to make the third one be, just like those other ones, but it's the third one. But no, this is a completely different story in the Ghostbusters world. And it looks like it will have a little bit of a different tone and a little bit of a different pace than the other Ghostbusters. Kind of, it has more of a modern day, it just has a Stranger Things vibe. You can't get over it. It's not a bad thing to say that, but it's obviously one of the kids from Stranger Things is in it, so that obviously ties that theory, that thought into it, which I get. But even if he wasn't in this show, this movie, Ghostbusters 3, it was just kids, you still would get that vibe of kind of adventure, kids, and it's modern day, right? So it's modern day, but it feels like you're back in the 90s or something because they're in such a rural town, such a rural area. I mean, this is way out there, small town, it looks like. And it is so out there that you almost feel like you're in a different time. So that kind of relates it even better to the 80s, even though it looks like obviously it's modern day. There's a voiceover with, Bill Murray that's pretty cool in the trailer. I think I like the tie-ins, I suppose. And I guess, none of these kids are really going to know about what, the Egon did or the grandfather did because until these ghost sightings and this stuff starts happening. So that's when they're going to be made aware of it, obviously. I just hope it's not one of those things where they happen to find all the stuff, the stuff starts happening and then they happen to find all the Ghostbuster equipment. Hopefully it will make sense. It won't be too, forced / cliche, whatever the hell, and unbelievable, with the kids riding the car and shooting the proton pack and stuff like that. I'm hoping that's the initial part of the movie at the beginning, and they haven't figured it out, and that's when the old Ghostbusters will show up or whatever. But I'm pretty excited about the trailer, and like I said, I'll have a lot more to say later. And it was really cool, and I would have loved to put the images up on the screen while I talk to you about it, but you guys have seen it, so you probably don't need that. You can go watch the trailer again and again yourself, and I'll do a podcast on it later. This is Corrupted Nation. Initially, I got to give it a thumbs up. It is a different movie than maybe a lot of people thought it would be, I believe. And I think you're going to get that special with the old cast moment at the end. And I like that Egon is a big part of the story, and because all the other Ghostbusters are going to be able to be in the movie. But, Egan will be a big part of the story. I just hope everybody isn't shoe-inned at the end, if you know what I mean. Like, I hope it's not, 80% of the story is this, and then at the very end, all these Ghostbusters show up and all this stuff. I just think that would be a little bit forced. So I hope that they're tied into the story a little bit better. With people like, Dana Barrett coming back and all the Ghostbusters and Annie Potts and all these people coming back, it's like, I feel like if it was the end of the movie, and they all just show up, that would kind of stink. What I think would be kind of cool is if at the end of the movie we get sort of this moment of hey, the Ghostbusters are back type of thing, and the Ghostbusters are willing to be back, if they have to be. And maybe at the end of the movie there isn't a complete resolution. You know what I'm saying? There's a resolution for the town, but there's not a complete resolution that, hey, there's a ghost that got away or there's something else going on. Or if something else ever happens, we're back, type of thing. And, that could sort of lend itself to, they could be in the next movie, too, with these kids and with Paul Rudd's character and things like that. And maybe Paul Rudd's a scientist, I don't 100% know. I'm assuming he's a science teacher or something like that in the movie. So there's some kind of tie-in there with what he can understand of the equipment. And he's a mark for the Ghostbusters, right? He's a fan of what happened and stuff like that, obviously. So, anyway, again, thumbs up, pretty much. A little bit worried, but at the same time, nowhere near at all worried compared to the 2016 Ghostbusters. This looks like it's going to be really fun, and I think we did take a little bit of an easy path with the Stranger Things vibes, but hey, I'm pretty much good with it. What do you guys think? Leave in the comments below. I really, really am interested in your feedback about this. Let me know down below. We'll talk about it later. We'll see you then. And if you're not, subscribe to the channel down below. Daily podcasts, all kinds of craziness right here on the Corrupted Nation channel. I'm Joe Cronin. Check out my other channel for my full Onision video that's up. And I will see you guys later.